Hey, what is going on, everybody? Yeah, back for another week of comic books. And, all right. Hey, look. All right. Before you get all getting all upset over the fact that I'm over here reviewing some comic books, I have a special episode for y'all. Um, all those individuals who constantly piss and moan about how I never talk about DC Comics. First of all, to you. Um, and this week is chocked full of DC Comics. So there, yeah. So, it was kind of it was a small stack of books this week, which will probably also be the same next week. I imagine. Um, I think the last time I looked at the list of my stuff for next week, there's just not a whole lot coming out. So I might, who knows? I might throw you a little curveball or something, maybe, if I'm not checking about it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, give me the fail trombone right there. There you go. I don't get to use that sound effect a whole lot, so I wanted to use it. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and start off with some comic books, huh? You guys like comic books, right? Yeah. Okay. So first up, we have Middlewest issue number 3. Now you guys, unfortunately, didn't get to hear too much about issue number 2. But our boy Abel has, of course, left his hometown after his father turned into a giant tornado and tried to attack him and destroyed the whole town. And he came across this old man who supposedly has some kind of knowledge of what Abel is or what he can do. He's got some kind of magical power, just like his dad. Not the same kind of power, but the same kind of magical power. And he has no idea what it is, and the old man won't tell him, but the old man kind of pointed him in a direction. So Abel and his little fox companion have set out for the town of Sparland to try to find this mystic named Magdalena, who supposedly might hold some answers to some of Abel's questions. And along the way, they're met by a troll who tries to eat them, and Abel and the fox are able to defeat the troll after Abel's powers manifest, and they blow the bridge, the covered bridge where the troll was living. And of course, sunlight turns trolls to stone, so the troll turns to stone, the bridge collapses, taking the troll with it. Yay, dead troll. Everybody likes it dead. Like, I'm going to have to figure out something to do with the touch. Honestly, it's starting to annoy me. Anyway, I specifically bought this Android tablet so that I could do better with my sound effects, and it's not being very responsive. So, might have to come up with something else. I don't know. I hate it that it's not being so responsive. To all of you, those out there who love your Android devices, I got one here who's not very responsive to my touch. Maybe it's because I hold an iPhone all day long, and iPad, and Apple Mac. I wonder why. Look at that. The one Android device I have, and it doesn't even work right all the time. Shock. Moving on, to not get onto that. So they decide that they're going to hitch a ride in the back of this chicken truck. There you go. And they do finally make it to the town of Sparland, where this Magdalena is supposed to be living, and she's part of a circus. So I'm sure that this circus will hold all kinds of mysteries. Yes. Just, I mean, I can't stress enough the how great this story is, and even just on issue 3, and it really just it holds so much mystery. And the art is absolutely beautiful, and I can't talk about it enough. I mean, I probably could, but you guys would eventually shut me off because, like, dude, he's only talking about one comic book this week. What's up with that? So let's move on. Yeah, you guys want to move on? All right. So let's move on and do Superman issue number 7. Speaking of chickens, no, Superman's not a chicken. What's the matter with you? So Superboy has returned after going off into space with Jor-El and Lois back in Action Comics issue 1000. And he's only been gone for 3 weeks as far as Superman is concerned. But for John, it's been 7 years. What? Yeah. So apparently, as soon as they left Earth, they encountered the Dominators, and after kicking their butts, they moved on to a planet where visiting people come to ask them, were gathered to ask them for help because Lois was running around in her Superwoman suit. That was way back when, not the same Superwoman from Rebirth. It's not. No. So just it's a thing. Anyway, but they came to ask her for help because they thought, she was, she had superpowers. She's wearing Superman's S. Why wouldn't she help? So Jor-El decides that he's going to help, and they tell him about the Khund coming and kidnapping their children. So John and Jor-El set off to rescue the children from the Khund, and it's at this point that Lois comes to the realization that she's not cut out for being out there in space, and that's when she came home. So she had probably only been out there for a couple of days, and then she decided that she wasn't going to be cut out for this kind of space travel, and she took the shuttle pod back home. Now, interestingly enough, I guess we couldn't see Jor-El's face, but the way that John was looking at Jor-El's face, because we only saw the back of Jor-El's head, but according to John, at the point where his mom left, that's when he realized that Jor-El is actually completely insane. So, yeah, this is... Now, I will say that since I've been reading the new Superman run with Bendis reading it, it's been... Yeah, I haven't been... I'm not the biggest fan of Bendis, okay? And I know that's going to catch me a lot of flack, but that's just the way it is. And I will tell you that I'm now at a point where I'm interested in what's going on, especially now that John is back. I really want to know what was going on out there, and why it's been 7 years for John and what's been going on for those 7 years. Like, I'm at the point where I really couldn't care less about Superman and how he's going to deal with this and what he's going to do with Jor-El and that whole thing, because that's where we're headed next, I assume. But I really want to find out where John has been and what he's been doing for the last 7 years, because yeah, that's I guess I'm kind of a mystery buff as it is. So, but hey, to each his own. So let's see. How about some Detective Comics issue number 996? No, what are you laughing for? I read Detective Comics. It's not. Hey, it's the Tom King Batman I don't read. Okay, That's it, the Tom King Batman is trash. Come on, the guy. I'm not. I told myself I wasn't gonna do this. Let's talk about some Batman. Okay. All right. So, Batman has gone to Arkham to get answers about who came after Alfred, because in the previous issue, Alfred had been stabbed by somebody carrying a sword. So, yeah. So, Batman's decided that he's going to go to Arkham and beat the hell out of all the inmates until he gets some answers. But after beating the hell out of all the inmates, he gets no answers. So, he decides he's going to go to Paris and track down Ducard. That's when this kind of globby, nasty creature thing comes after him and Ducard, and it's got like all the faces of his previous of all of his enemies, and it's really, I don't know, it's kind of like a piss ass poor version of Clayface. If somebody tried to clone Clayface and it was like wrong in some way, shape, I don't really know how to. It's just it was. That's what it was. It was just a giant glob of trash. But it comes after Batman and Ducard sacrifices himself to kill the creature so that Batman can escape for whatever reason, since he and Ducard are such besties. So Batman then heads to Korea and the monastery where he learned martial arts, and he finds out that that monastery has also been attacked by a similar creature, and that the majority of the people that were at that monastery are now dead. So, at that point, Batman basically just kind of figures out that the people that made him who he is a target. Like, whoever it is that's behind this entire thing is targeting the people who made Batman what Batman is, without targeting Bruce Wayne specifically, because obviously somebody knows that he's Batman, and that you target Bruce Wayne, that's just silly. You're asking for trouble. So at that point, Batman heads to New Mexico, where he finds Thaddeus Brown, aka the OG Mr. Miracle, warning him about a trap. But it is too late. Yeah, so Batman sprung the trap badly, by the way. So we'll have to see in a couple of weeks what happens with that. Let's see. Ooh, okay. So let's talk some Batman Who Laughs. It's not a comedy book, y'all. Jesus Christ. These people, I get, you people are insane. It just, give me that thing. You guys get, yeah, how about that? So Batman Who Laughs, issue number 2, because we're going to move on, despite the face that guy's making. You know what? You, okay? So, Joker is in the Batcave in surgery after his encounter with... Okay, I should tell you before I say this. Batman Who Laughs, BWL, okay? Because I'm just tired of saying Batman Who Laughs. So, after his encounter with BWL, Alfred doesn't want to save Joker, but Bruce does. Being that Batman doesn't kill. But it wouldn't be Batman killing. It'd be Alfred killing or letting him die. Or maybe I could just put him into a chemically induced coma or, some such thing. And Batman's like, no. He's going to live. You fix him. All right, just do it. So, while this is going on, for some unknown cuckoo reason, Waynes from another dimension have been turning up dead across all of Gotham. Nobody really knows why. God almighty, I really need to do something about that. This is ridiculous. And then, of course, BWL comes to Wayne Tower to destroy some kind of failsafe that Batman is built in to save the city from a biological attack. Because, he's Batman, and of course he's got failsafes for everything, except Catwoman leaving him at the altar. Eee. I know, it's such a bad... You know what, but hey, Tom King did it to y'all, not me. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, y'all are real quick to be like, oh, we love Tom King, and then all of a sudden it's the second I talk about Batman issue number 50. Oops. All right, moving on. So, of course, Batman arrives to stop BWL, and that's when he reveals his ally, his newest ally, the Grim Knight, who shoots Batman, which, of course, gives BWL time to blow up Wayne Tower. Oops. So his, Batman is essentially fighting an evil version of himself, right? I mean, not Owlman notwithstanding, which is the evil version of Batman anyway. BWL is a cross between Batman and the Joker. I mean, how do you stop something like that? I don't know. But if anybody can do it, Batman can, because he's Batman. So later, Commissioner Gordon is seen asking his son James to come and help deal with the situation and BWL. I mean, I guess at this point you kind of hit a low point when you're going and asking your extremely psychotic son to come and help deal with this situation. I mean, just, whoa, that's super. And you know what? That gets another. I don't know what the hell's going on. See, I'm pressing it. There it goes. I don't know. I really don't. I guess I'm going to have to get some kind of, touch pen or something. Oh, Android, thou hast forsaken me. Shocker, I know, right? All right. So let's move on to the last comic book of the evening so that you guys can go on and listen to the comic book podcasts you really want to listen to, right? Yeah. Shut up. So, Uncanny X-Men issue number 10. So Jean has called the X-Men to her to fight Nate, who has taken control of Legion. Now, in the previous issue, the two of them merged into the same body. So, essentially, Nate Gray is inside Legion, and Nate Gray is now Legion. So they are Legion, I guess? I don't know. Yeah. So, and, let's give it trombone fills, because that was terrible. So Jean's come up with a plan to use, all the telepaths she can possibly muster, herself, Betsy, the Cuckoos, and they're going to try to pull Nate out of Legion. But the plan isn't going to do them any good if they can't subdue Storm, who in the previous issue was taken over by Nate. And so now Storm is one of his horsemen, or horsewomen, rather, since he's now got 5. And so Betsy goes off to take care of Storm. And when Betsy mind blasts Storm, she, of course, wakes up. She's now pissed, and she goes on Nate full force, giving Jean and the rest of the telepaths an opening to pull Nate out of Legion. So when they do, Nate ends up pulling Jean into his mind, and she tries to convince him that what he's doing is wrong, and he's trying to convince her that he's doing is right, and it's the right thing to do. And everybody's just kind of at a standstill because they're not really sure what to do, and the horsemen have now been subdued, and Jean feels like she's finally convinced Nate that what he's doing is wrong. But she couldn't be more wrong. And Nate decides that the only way to essentially have peace and for the X-Men to no longer be oppressed and everything be okay, is no more X-Men, and he basically blasts all of the X-Men into oblivion. So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen this. So, I mean, essentially, a large, uh, it kind of proceeds to this epilogue where no more X-Men. The X-Men are dead. No more mutants, which is a headline we've seen before when way back when Wanda Maximoff changed the world where there were no more mutants and she had obliterated all mutants off the face of the planet and humans. Apologies. And yeah, it just I was like, what? Whoa. But yeah, it seems like everybody is okay with the X-Men being gone. The plan for the X gene inoculation is moving forward, and people are going in and getting an inoculation so that whatever recessive X gene they have is getting suppressed, and they make sure that their future kids don't have it. And I mean, basically, the world seems like it's happier without the X-Men in it. Sadly enough, it's I don't know, and but we have one red sunglass wearing motherfucker who's supposed to be dead, who seems like he's not real happy with the X-Men being gone. So, we're gonna go with the dun 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 because, yeah, and you guys will find out next issue that this Gur's back, and I'm just that guy. No spoilers. Yeah. So that's it for this week, you guys. We ran about the same time we normally do, and I will see you guys next week.